Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Do you ever look at the emergency meal kits and think maybe I should just buy one, set it away in my pantry and forget about it, and then I'll have an emergency food supply should something happen? Well, I was recently looking at one of the meal kits that was for one person for 3 days. It had a shelf life of something like 25 or 30 years, which when you think about it, it's $11 or $12 per day, and then you have food for an emergency. But let's look at what is actually included in this meal kit. You get a package of potato soup. You get a package of oatmeal. You get a package of creamy chicken rice. You get a package of macaroni and cheese. Now you're supposed to figure out how to open it out, portion it out into 9 meals for one person over 3 days. You just add water, you boil the portion of the package that you want for that meal, and then you need to seal it up and store the rest of it. Now when you look at this, that seems pretty simple, but they're just basic foods. This is nothing fancy. These are just very humble meals. This is not something that you would, on a day-to-day basis, expect to pay $36 for this kind of a food packet. They're easy everyday foods you can pick up at any grocery store. You can even order them on Amazon if you want, and they can be delivered to your home. So the first item in the pre-packaged food is a package of potato soup. It has 4 servings of 290 calories each. Well, you can easily make that same food item by picking up a Bear Creek potato soup mix. It's basically the same. This is 8 servings of 150 calories, so the 4 servings would be 300 calories each. And it's a lot less expensive. The package of Bear Creek soup is $3.50. So that's a lot of soup for not a lot of money. The next food item in the pre-made meal kit is oatmeal. 8 half-cup servings at 230 calories each. Well, I went on Amazon and I ordered instant oatmeal, and it's the same type of variety, maple and brown sugar, but there's 20 servings in here and they're already pre-measured. So you could have 2 or 3 packets of this for your meal. It's already pre-measured, just add the boiling water, and each packet has 160 calories. If you prepared 2 packets of the Amazon brand instant oatmeal, you would have 320 calories. And then you would even have more days worth of oatmeal. It's already pre-measured. And this entire package of oatmeal was $3.59. So that is a lot of days of oatmeal for not a lot of money. The next food item in the pre-packaged emergency meal kit is creamy chicken and rice. The emergency meal kit includes 4 2/3 cup servings at 490 calories each. To me, that's the same amount of food as you would get in 4 packets of the Knorr creamy chicken and rice. And these, I paid $1.24 a package. The 4 packages of Knorr creamy rice was $4.96. So do you see how you're getting just basic foods for not a lot of money if you think about preparing it yourself? The other item in the $35 emergency meal kit is macaroni and cheese. The package includes 4 1/3 cup servings at 320 calories. Now that is approximately the same amount of food in 3 boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese. Now, the Kraft macaroni and cheese, you're supposed to add butter and milk. I've made it plenty of times without the milk or the butter, and it still tastes perfectly fine. I bought the 5-pack for $4.99, so it's basically $1 a box. And if you only wanted to mirror the same amount of food, you could do it for the $3 for 3 boxes. I don't recommend using the generic macaroni and cheese without the butter and milk. I don't think that their cheese powder tastes very good, but I think that Kraft macaroni and cheese is tasty. So now let's look it over. You could order the pre-made kit for $35 and put it away for 30 years. Or if you really need food for just 3 days, don't you want to go into your pantry and be able to open something up and eat it? You're going to be less likely to open the emergency food because you're thinking, oh, it's supposed to last for 30 years. Maybe I shouldn't open it today. It's not that SHTF event yet. That's one of the problems with the longest lasting foods, is it doesn't It's not food that people are willing to use, rotate, and replace, and it's really just everyday food items. You could easily go to the grocery store and make your own emergency meal kit just like I did for $15, and you have the same or even a little more food on hand. Plus, if you have food in your pantry, that's normal food that you could open and eat, do a little bit of cooking, you're far more likely to reach into your pantry and use that food when you have an emergency of some kind. Whether somebody is sick, you've run out of money before you run out of month, the power stops working, you have to get out your emergency stove. There are all types of events that can happen to you of why you want to have that emergency food. But if it's set aside for 30 years and it's just this basic food, wouldn't it be easier to spend the $15, have this food, use it, rotate, and replace it? Because these are everyday foods that you might be willing to use anyway. And if they're not, you can look at, say, a Bear Creek soup mix. There's all different kind of flavors. You don't get to choose any other variety for the emergency kit. All you get is the potato soup. Maybe you want one of the other varieties because Bear Creek has all types of them. Maybe you would like a different flavor of oatmeal. There aren't any other flavor varieties in your pre-made kit, but you can order high protein oatmeals. You can order fruit. There's all different choices that you can buy to have the ones that your family likes, that you're willing to use, rotate, and replace. Same thing with the Knorr rice. Now, I prefer the Knorr pasta, but I can understand why they're having potatoes, oatmeal, rice, and macaroni, so that you have a variety of different types of foods. But if you want a different variety, or 4 different varieties, you could have Spanish rice, cheesy broccoli rice, teriyaki rice, or some of the pasta noodle type varieties that I think they're very good. I do find though that the most of the ones with the pasta do require to have milk in them, and they certainly taste better with it. So it's something to think about, that what do you need so that you can prepare these foods, and so far it's just basically water. I don't know about you, but macaroni and cheese is something that's easy to take out of the pantry, open it up, and eat it. And if you have some maybe fresh grated cheese in your refrigerator, add that in and use it up. If you want to have some vegetables on the side, you can do that. You don't have to wait for an emergency and then these are the only foods you can eat. Do you see how prepping is for the everyday experiences, the everyday emergencies and struggles and challenges that we have? So I think it would be great if you could just get $15 worth of food, and then you can save the other $20 that the emergency kit costs and fill in with other foods, varieties, and things that you actually really need and can use. With the additional $20, you could buy some canned foods like chili, beef stew, ravioli. There's all kinds of already ready to eat meals in a can that are fantastic to have in all kinds of situations. They're already fully cooked. You just need to open them up, heat them in the microwave, toss them into a pot over the stove. But if you can't do that, they're already cooked. You can just eat them anyway. They aren't as tasty as if you heat them up, but you could have them. Maybe you want some additional canned fruits and vegetables. Then you have variety, and then you can add those into these emergency foods, and then consider that you're making a bigger, healthier, more filling meal. You can get dry pasta noodles, jars of pasta sauce, cans of soup, a bag of rice. Cook up some of the rice, pour over a can of soup, and you have a bigger, better, more filling meal. Look over what your choices are. Think about what is your actual goal for the foods that you're storing. Do you want foods just to have set aside so that you feel better that it's there? Or do you want to have food that you can use, rotate, replace, nourish your family, keep yourself going for less money? Look through your pantry, see what you have. Maybe you already have some of these food items and you didn't even realize you've already created your own emergency 72-hour kit. There's nothing magical about these food selections. You don't need to put them away into a bucket or a container to set aside for what if. These are foods that you can set right in your pantry and you still have food on hand for what if. And if you use your soup, replace it. If you use your oatmeal up, buy some more. If you decide to cook some of the rice, replace it, buy some more. And if you love that macaroni and cheese and you end up using it, make sure that you then buy more so that you have those supplies on hand no matter what the day brings. That's my recommendation for an emergency 72-hour kit. You can DIY it yourself for a lot less money and make it actually fit into your daily routine of life. I'll put a link to some emergency items down in the description below. If you regularly shop on Amazon, if you click on my link before you shop, it helps my channel because it provides a little bit of revenue to me, but it doesn't cost you any extra. Let us know, what other simple to prepare foods do you think would be great to have in our pantry so that we can face that day whenever it comes. I hope you'll like my video, share it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.